Let's see. When
I'm
last
not
we
gonna bail you
broke
guys
for
out every time.
when last we broke for the Dealbreakers, the party had just finished dealing with their accostants, I guess, by the Cambions in the hallways in the market of, well, the back alleys of the market. After acquiring the keys necessary in order to open the doors, they inserted the cubes into the statues, which revealed a portal into the secret estate where a couple of our party members had already scouted by climbing in the nearby wall. After deploying a clairvoyance to scout out for any occupants of the estate, as well as hearing very heavy footfalls during their time around there, the party sequestered themselves inside before being accosted by a duo of helmed horrors as well as animated statues, which were the estate's security system. After dealing with them, they then discovered as they explored the estate that more helmed horrors were on patrol, activated by the defense systems, and also were accosting the nearby brigands who they had interrogated not that much longer before. After saving them in their plight, it was discovered that one each had also revealed himself in their dealings with Gato, the leader of the brigands. And upon learning about Reughar's intentions by asking how the winds fared, and giving his prompt reply, they offered to sequester her away in order to gather more information.
Fair enough. Take your point of inspiration. That is where we left you. I believe, specifically, we were leaving. You guys were intent on leaving the city proper to head back to the estate.
While also trying to make a point of swinging by any ranger auxilia to give proper report of the helmed horror incident.
Well, the the Rangers Auxiliary Garrison is right outside of the gate from Thudis's Crossing. The bridge out onto the road to Gates Bridge. Which also is the easiest road to get onto to head back to the estate.
Convenient.
Yes, quite. So yeah, if you guys are gonna take the time to hop aside, you actually do manage to, as you pop into the more upscaled garrison now, it seems. The wooden fortifications are slowly being added to at this juncture. The palisade out there outside of the proper stone walls of the, for lack of a better term, outermost defenses of the capital's approach. And the Argonis capital proper, I should mention. There is as you would enter, you'd have to turn facing south. On the left is the largest structure that you guys would know would house, from your previous visit there, would house the commissariat for Ranger Auxiliary membership, as well as the office of the commanding officer, who is probably one of the people that you could report to.
I'll take what we can get.
All right. As you make your way inside, you are greeted by the Abliner human who some of you, I'm trying to remember who precisely last went in here. If it would have been Trinket and other party members. As you enter, you are quickly met at a post by a Ganassi. A Ganassi in the proper Ranger's Auxilia attire who asks, sorry, one moment here. I realize that I need to share music to you. Who demands fairly curtly, state your business.
Who has the busted up like horde helmet of the helmed horror?
That would be Krieg.
Yeah, one of the pauldrons, if I recall correctly.
Krieg got a bunch of metal scraps and was able to reassemble some of the armor. Not all of it. He did get a pauldron though that has a rune on it.
Okay.
Is a dwarven rune.
It is a dwarven rune. Sorry, are you turning this in for any reason, sir? Is there any, remind me, Tart, is there any markers of affiliation with the Rangers Auxiliary on Krieg's armor? On Krieg's outer armor?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, then that's actually going to give this guard, this junior officer, an attempt at a history check with advantage to see what contingent you might be from. That's good. Good for him. Oh, sir, you see, as you step forward, Krieg, he straightens up a little bit. Sir, didn't realize we were under visit from the collegiate cohort.
At ease.
Thank you, sir.
Do you know that there's above game? What direction are we going with this? Are we just reporting it, or like?
I mean, that was my intent, was to just be like, hey, this just happened over here. Maybe take an eye on where those helmed horrors came from, because it's a bit odd that they would do more than just guard a house.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Yeah,
Cool.
and there was that one that came out of another place that was all bloodied up.
Yes.
So there might be somebody who's not doing well.
There's an individual in town who has created a collection of these helmed horrors, and they are now beginning to strike out at the nearby.
The helmed horrors? In the city?
Yes.
You're going to want to speak to Legate Marcon. He's inside. Give me a moment. He's going to quickly step back and leave you guys in the entryway. Before a human woman wearing almost like a, I don't want to call it a petticoat, but it's an open jacket with like 3/4 sleeves and a sash underneath, like, that kind of cuts like she would be wearing a crop top underneath the jacket, with the sort of sigil of the college, with the sigil of a particular branch of the college, sort of half hidden underneath the jacket. Oh, have you all been seen too?
Yes, the clerk at the front went to assist us. He'll be back shortly.
I see. She takes a pause and just looks the group over. Is Reughar hanging around, Milla?
Oh, of course he is. Yes, sorry.
Reughar, is it? Sorry to barge in, but I actually have something for you, sir. There was a message sent from Patronage about a week ago. We were actually about to run it out to the estate where your company operates out of.
Wait. Do you just see a genuine look of confusion upon his face when she says that? Like, I'm sorry. Have we met?
I'm Iskara. Iskara her. I'm officially I'm a graduate of the school of Magus Conatus from Patronage. I'm for all of my charms, I'm relegated to the position of a mere secretary here. She'll offer a hand to you.
He'll take it.
She'll root around in a satchel, sort of half hidden with its upper open flap, half hidden. As she kind of brushes aside her jacket, digging through the papers for a moment and producing a small tri-folded page. If you'll give me just a moment to make sure I have the correct one.
Be me just hovering around looking for player found documents.
It is specific. I didn't have that in here yet. Son of a bitch. One moment.
No.
Let me browse through my notes.
Hey, Tard.
Hey, what's up?
Is it, like, known to the group that Krieg's position, was he in a regiment based in Patronage, or just the fact that he came out of there?
He was a part of a regiment based in Patronage. Krieg, though, admittedly he hasn't done direct work with the Ranger Auxiliaries in quite some time.
Okay.
Not directly served. But he does carry the insignia.
Okay. Well, shoot. I've got it. I've got it for you, but I'm just gonna have to read this off. This tri-folded page actually bears a somewhat familiar sigil to you in its stamped wax seal. On the back, it is addressed to you with your full name and marking your membership with the Dealbreakers as known to the college. The collegiate starburst is held over what looks like or in the sort of foreground in front of what looks like a set of scales within this wax seal.
Out of curiosity, what is Rughar's full name?
Reughar Holimion.
Oh, I thought you meant like full name, like middle name and everything.
Yeah.
To be determined.
I was hoping
Reughar
was one of the
Reughar
people who has, like,
TBD.
6 middle names.
Reughar TBD Holimion. We'll come up with a T. We'll come up with names for the T, the B, and the D.
Reughar word of the day.
Caught me off guard.
But it seems to be an official as official of a script as you can get from patronage. And she hands it off to you.
He'll conjure a mage hand and gently take the missive from her.
Who else? There was something else in here. Since you're here, Postmaster actually had dropped us off for one of our patrols that was heading out to the Riverwatch outpost out by, what is that place? Veronbank Mill. It's a little farther down the road than the turnoff to the old estate and the reserve's approach trail. Postmaster. This has a Postmaster Darius's seal. This is for a. Doesn't have a proper name on here. It's simply addressed to the captain of the Raven's Flight.
Hand goes up. It's like, that's me.
Also pointing to Ishmael.
This I actually do have in here, and I apologize, Milla, for not putting yours in here as well. I'm gonna share this first with Gaia, and if you when you get back to the estate, if you want to read that proper, you are more than welcome to.
Oh boy.
As you have
You just got a letter.
You recognize the seal on the back of your letter, Ishmael, as having a wax stamp and the image of a tower that you have received at least once before.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's all I had for you. If once your business is done, if you have any mail to forward, I'd really rather. This is something I think you might want to do. Go find yourselves the postmaster's office and likely set up a reception box. Collegiate, it's a little below some of our collegiate membership or the Rangers to play messengers.
You'll have to forgive us. The estate is recently new, and we haven't done a whole lot of what's the term I'm looking for? Shit.
Clerical work?
Clerical work. The clerical work still needs to be updated. It's, like I said, fairly new.
I see. I'm certain that with time and effort, you will be able to get through that amount of work. A good day to you all. Ranger, she nods at you, Krieg, as she departs.
He'll nod back.
Not even a minute passes of her being gone before a familiar in name to you, Reughar, as you sort of had to familiarize yourself with certain members of the Rangers Auxiliary around Argonis capital in the early years of your, I guess, outcast exile. A shield dwarf with just a shock with a sort of singular shock of red hair and an otherwise brown beard, steps forward and stands probably about 4'8", 4'7", 4'8", and is very much built like a brick shithouse, and is wearing plate armor, not a little reminiscent of Krieg's to a degree. However, without the various ornamentation of Teokos' symbology on the pauldrons, replaced with the collegiate starburst and the ranger auxiliary's bow on the left pauldron. A sort of green handkerchief sticks out on the opposite side of this shock of red hair from this braided in the pretty well trimmed short beard. Marcon Giorgio, Ranger Legate of the capital's Approach Brigade.
Bless you.
Yes. I'm providing the name and the spelling list shortly.
Thank you.
And I misspoke. It's not the capital's Approach Brigade, it's the Riverland Brigade.
All right. Just waiting on the spelling before Reughar continues with this.
All right, Act 2 form. There's the spelling list.
Ah, Master Giorgio.
Ah, the outcast. I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Sorry, it's been a long day. Reughar?
It has been, well, not just a long day, but it has been a long time. Huh. How fare things in the Riverlands?
Friggin'. No one's picked up that bounty on, what was his name? Manias? The suspected necromancer from it's been 3 months now. We've had to raise the bounty to 7. By not an insignificant amount. That's not ideal, but hopefully it'll entice someone to go chase after him. I'm assuming you've been operating within purviews of the college.
Well, as he kind of looks down at the missive, Marcon says that. Well, that's yet to be determined, I suppose. As he just kind of looking at it. The what business would they have with me? I'm not quite sure.
There's been a lot of shakeups recently. Commander Timist's elevation to the position, which is, gods, a scandal for the ages. People are crying nepotism because his wife's on the council. I say if he's good, let him stay there. I'm sure that doesn't have much to do with you at all.
No, I don't. I shan't press the matter. Nor should I be involved in anything that's not within my privy, so to speak.
Fair enough.
But
I heard you have evidence of some magical affairs that you don't think should be going on in the... What was it, the lower city?
Yes. Over in the Tower Markets, we happened upon an estate that, upon further inspection, housed certain prohibitive constructs, particularly helmed horrors, as in motion to Krieg for the helmet.
Yeah, Krieg will push the helmet and the pauldron forward.
They were set up as defenses for what we presume to be a rather prolific mage of some sort. However,
I recognize these runes.
do tell.
Well, I say recognize very loosely. This is this sort of rune is... It's the flare there, isn't it? Someone came in for a fairly intricate manual. What is it? Would have been 2 or 3 months ago. Earth Ganassi woman. Oh. She had dreads of this almost, to say amethyst, of like an amethyst color. Shared the translucency of it too. Haven't seen hide nor hair of her since. This is the first time that, this kind of a thing has turned up in relation to her.
These horrors have been assaulting people nearby her house.
Coughs and unrelated to us. We didn't cause that. Mile.
I'll have to send someone to look it over. You said this was in Tower Markets? I'm not sure where precisely that set of that square is in town.
I believe it was actually the Torch Market.
Oh, right.
Torch Markets. That's right. That's right down the road, almost before Westkeep Bridge. I'll have someone over there sometime tonight.
You'll probably need these if you intend to inspect the actual premises, and I will produce the 2 square holes.
Ah, yes, the square pegs. Yes,
It goes in the square hole.
that's right. That's right.
I suggest you take heed, given the circumstances. They did attack a few residents who happened to be nearby.
Which is true.
That is concerning.
It would have been one thing had they only been guarding the premises of the estate. However, as we've said, once violence spilled into the streets, we had to intervene to ensure that no lives were lost.
I think... I think I might have to look into this.
These 2 stones, as I hand them over, are necessary to dispel an illusion, / open a portal in a wall within the Torch Markets down an alleyway, to reach their premises. It's either that, or it turns out the roof over the roof over the wall in question turns out to have not been real and is an illusion. So you could also just scale that, but that leaves more difficult egress if you needed to retreat for any reason. There are 2 statues, each bearing shields with these square-shaped holes in them. You place one of these stones in each shield, and they will reveal the way inside.
He's just nodding as he's saying this.
I'll have to have Ranger Cost and take a look into it. He's one of our resident specialists on deciphering illusion magics. I might even back him up myself. If there are multiple helmed horrors, I'd rather be on the front for this.
How many
We
have we seen thus
personally-
far? Like 6 from
You've
Adventure
seen,
over there?
you saw a total of 6 constructs that were hostile to you.
Okay.
Only 4 of them were helmed horrors. I'll give you that for free.
Yes. Yes. Nutters. Sorry, I cut someone off. I don't know who was speaking.
I was going to give the wrong number, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, fair, valid.
There were roughly 6 constructs in total. 4 of the helmed horrors and 2... What were they? They weren't quite stone golems.
Animated statues of some kind.
That's a lot of defenses for something in the in the lower city.
You can see
It
our
seemed that way,
concern.
yes. And we happened to be in the area looking into a separate matter. We came across some fiendish problems that we ran into earlier in town. If you want details on that end, if you need to connect the dots, Scion Gregory can vouch for us.
I'll have to reach out to him then. That's... I don't think on the glance they're connected because truth be told, I hadn't heard much about devils in the city for... well, up until about, what, a month ago?
I don't believe they are connected. We just happened to be looking into that matter, and that brought us to that area where things happened.
Fair enough. Pleasure to work with you all. I wish it were on, I guess, simpler in in the course of simpler events. We'll take a look at things, and if we need or feel that your help will be necessary, we'll reach out to you. We'll likely end up sending a messenger to the estate.
We will be on the lookout. It would seem things are starting to get busier in the city.
It does indeed. I have no further need of you if you unless you have any questions of me.
No, I believe with that we'll take our leave.
Good day to you then.
Reughar will nod, and as he'll just kind of look to the group, he'll begin to open up the missive.
As you open up the missive, Reughar, you quickly realize that this is an official summons from the college. Reughar Holimion, your presence is hereby required at a hearing regarding an incident involving yourself and other suspects of a smuggling ring from 336. There has been new evidence brought forward, and your attendance will be mandatory.
Does it give a specific date as far as when the...
Let me look up and see when specifically we had it.
I mean, as far as when the date of the...
I have a marker from this, yes.
Mhm.
Alright, let's go ahead and... It seems to be, at this moment, the summons seems to be on the... Where is it? There it is. It would specifically be a Yonde, that's the 4th day of the working week, equivalent to our Thursdays. The 11th of Windreap. Which is, next month. Early next month.
Making a note of this because this is very important.
Yeah.
And as we're kind of walking around, Reughar, slipping into his own self, will just begin to read that out loud. And as soon as he gets to the part of him being summoned, he'll just stop. As I mean, he'll physically stop moving as his voice begins to fill with worry and dread for a moment. Wait. New evidence. For a summons. Oh. Fantastic. If anybody wants you, they can roll an insight check on Reughar quick.
Sure.
Let's see them insight checks, gamers.
First roll of the night. 16.
Six.
You know what? I'll roll an opposing deception. -1 modifier. Let's go for a 4, baby.
That's the Milla we all know and love.
Yep. Yep.
Let's go.
Veron, you get the sense that, yeah, obviously this has him worried. But Krieg, given the conversation as far as, and given your knowledge as far as, collegiate practice, or what's been going on with the colleges of late, Reughar is definitely unsure of why. Whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing, but whatever it is, it's got him terrified.
Yeah. Are you alright?
Aside from the obvious.
Another taste of kismet, as it would seem. Talking about the college and their efforts, and now they wish to summon me. For what? Do they wish to tempt my fate once more?
As you ask that question, Milla, a very recent but very familiar presence enters your mind, only to sort of communicate something through a very almost a distinct feeling of, if I were to put this in terms of like something you'd get from the augury spell, you get a sense of weal and woe.
Perhaps. Although there might be something more. You might be onto something there, Krieg, but I need to temper my expectations. I need to ensure that whatever happens is sure what to think. In all fairness, breathe, Reughar, breathe. I've never been worked up on something. Whether it's... Why should I even think of this, to be honest? It's just... Why would you need to summon for me? As he goes into one of his stereotypical ramblings just under his breath as he just begins to pace back and forth again.
And we lost him.
And after a few seconds of this, about 10 seconds, then he'll do a cough to regain himself. And I do appreciate your support, though, Krieg. Truly. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps some good will come out of this. But...
Krieg is just standing there like, I didn't say a damn thing, but go on.
He'll dash the missive from the college and just gotta look up. Question.
Yeah.
Has he been traveling with us this whole time too?
Has whom?
H?
Hayes is... I'm assuming Hayes was outside with Gatto and the third yet unnamed member of the party. Of that little trio.
They went ahead of us to wait outside of town.
Okay.
I will say, they are waiting past that first orchard that you see on the map there. At the corner of the sort of trail that heads up to that farmhouse.
Right. Best not keep our friends waiting any longer. Shall we, gentlemen?
Ishmael's like 10 feet down the road already because he wasn't paying attention until he noticed he was that far ahead, and he's just kind of been standing there waiting the whole time.
He's like giving like the Jackie Chan what the fuck pose.
Not quite.
Nah, you're right.
It's not something we can handle right now. Save your anxieties until the time's correct.
Right. We just have to fare out until the 11th of Windreap. Although, we have to be there by then.
I'm sure with our mutual friend, we could get there quite easily.
Right.
Let's be off then.
Regard nods.
And you guys set off. You collect Gatto's little trio with H in tow, and you guys will return to the estate, which you guys call home. Go ahead and bring us back to that map properly, shall we? Unlike how it is posted here, Bastian and Johan are currently dealing with other affairs. Bastian is on the estate grounds at this time, along with Eustace, Ellison, and Barry Beckett. It's not all that different from how you left it earlier this morning. However, you all are very much more fatigued than when you departed. After another 2 hours of travel. It's about mid-afternoon by the time you guys cross the trails and make it back to the property. And a relative sense of ease and security of knowing that this place is, if not 100% safe, probably the closest thing to it.
What time of day is it, Jakery?
It is mid-afternoon, just before dinner. Equivalent to about 4 o'clock-ish, 4:55. Yeah, 4:55, so almost 5 o'clock.
I could use a drink. Anyone else?
Ishmael's already behind the bar with Godo
Perfect.
because he promised.
Real quick, as they led the three into the door entrance, Veron will actually stop and point at the three of them. I expect you to wipe your feet, and he'll just go inside.
Okay. You see H just casually head outside to one of the stones at the base of the wall and kick the dust off of his shoes.
Kind of the Eastern Shine showed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I approve. Second here, let me make sure I have their tokens to represent them here. Also, their stat blocks. Smile. Alrighty.
Why would you need stat blocks for them, Jake?
I mean, for mental stats, of course.
Definitely nothing nefarious.
Nothing nefarious at all. Yeah, Gatto's up, and so I'm assuming you guys just lead them into the bar, not to the war room.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
This is where we plan our wars.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What wars? There isn't a war yet. Yet.
Yet.
So H is the first to sit down, and he's kind of he already appears very comfortable in this place. Oh, so that's what happened to this place. Fazal said you were all getting this place fixed up, but damn, I did not expect this. Gatto kind of turns and side-eyes H. And then turns to you, Ishmael. Okay, first of all, I think look, man, you owe us an explanation. How the hell do you know these people? He'll wait for the drink. Gatto will.
Krieg is gonna make a Moscow mule and all of its irony.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ishmael's just pouring simple malt shots right now. Malt whiskey.
Okay.
Straight.
You
You want ice? Fuck you.
don't get ice. You have to earn the ice. Ice is expensive. It's late summer right now. It's like you're only just about to cross into meteorological fall.
As Reughar just kind of smirks and says, "No, it's fine. Yes. Who needs ice?" As he'll cast prestidigitation to chill the drink.
Oh yeah, I see. Just flaunt your magic there.
Look, prestidigitation is such a useful utility spell. There's so many functions that people need to clasp onto to make sure they have it for
You are
every
definitely a college man.
facet. Reughar just immediately stops and just kind of looks at you, Krieg, and says, "I suppose the collegiate life of pursuit of knowledge will never truly escape me."
Krieg is just there sipping his drink.
Mm-hmm. H will look at you, Reughar, after that bit. Respectfully, as much as I would love to go into my entire sordid history, I think it's best for my continued operation, considering that you've already kind of compromised it. I think it best if I only answer questions you ask. Is that fair? He looks to H. He looks to the third man. He looks to Gatto and to the third man. Would you guys accept that? Like, part of my joining was also that you wouldn't ask questions about my past. I wouldn't ask questions about yours. There's not really much dissent from the other two, of note to any of you. Gatto downs his shot quickly and asks for another.
Obliged. Ishmael has not spoken yet. Worth mentioning.
Gatto will move and sit down. You first, he seems to know you best. Gatto, looks directly to you, Reughar.
As Reughar just kind of coughs a little bit. Well, no is a little bit of a stretch, I would say. Not so much familiar as acquainted.
I don't know what you're talking about. We just met today. I knew about you beforehand, though. I'll give you that much for free.
Well, now acquainted.
So, what part of my sordid past did you want to know? I guess what is it? What is the term I used for you? Oh, right. Speaker.
That's... Oh, God. Brain, why are you giving me such a brave heart right now?
Refer to the message in found
Yes.
documents. Communicate from H.
Yes. Da, da, da.
Yes.
As well. Well, if there is any indication of a touch for a breeze, as he'll just kind of look at her for confirmation.
He's just giving you sort of like a as much sarcasm as he can communicate from his face.
I appreciate your bid for the Whispered One.
Oh, you didn't translate it right the first time. That's hilarious.
It took me so long to figure it out. On top of that, as he'll just point at him.
That's good.
Feverishly.
That's good. Love that.
I'll admit I am rather fond of puzzles, but even that one was quite the challenge to decipher.
Wait.
But
Gato speaks up. Translated. You never said you spoke any other languages. Didn't need to. Next question.
Ah. So, with that confirmation of the way, I suppose we do have... He'll just kind of look around towards Gato and our other mutual friend that's alongside H. Should they be privy to this? As I just kind of look to the group and be like, are we okay talking about this to them? That's everyone that's not H.
That's up to y'all.
You see that Ishmael is a bit busy reading his own piece of mail that he received. He kind of looks up and goes, huh?
Well, are we sure we should be discussing these matters with anyone aside from H? Or would you rather our guests be entertained here where we find something a little more private?
Clearly distracted, Ishmael's just like, sure, whatever.
Right. As Reughar just kind of looks over. Let's see. Just try to double check real place. What's a real good place to carry this conversation that is not the war room?
Well, you would know about, like, You have your guys' main dining hall. You have a private room that is fairly well insulated. You have any of the guest rooms to go into, or potentially the upstairs lounge.
Perhaps the lounge would be a bit more relaxed environment. Bastion, would you care to indulge our other friends for a while?
He's elsewhere on the estate. He's not on the
Yeah,
map.
he
Jake
is-
just hasn't removed
Oh.
the token.
I'm a fool, you see.
Oops.
There, fixed it.
Okay. And we know that Johan's gone, so
Johan is currently following up on one of your other leads.
yes.
Yes. Yeah, you guys can handle talking with Hayes. I've got some stuff I need to think about on my own down here while you take care of that particular incident.
Right. Well. H, would you care to join us over at the lounge? As
They'll stand up, lead the way. Gatto, if you and if you and Dennis actually just want to stay here, I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we can discuss where we go from here. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you trust me anymore. What tipped you off to that? Just call it a hunch. After you, Master Reughar.
Reughar will nod and begin to lead H up to the lounge.
Okay.
As they walk past, they notice that Ishmael kind of slides his shot glass to the side and pulls out his whole flask.
What you got in there? What you got in there, boss?
I don't know. Something that tends to knock these Freylanders on their ass.
Well, with a name like Erator, I'm certain that it wouldn't knock an Abliner on theirs. Mind pouring some?
You insist. And he pulls just the most fragrant, fucked up cocktail of Tyrian mead and Soradani rum that you've ever seen.
Oh God! I also need are you attempting to keep the contents of the letter secret?
It's back in his pocket.
Okay, fair enough.
He's read it over and it's back in his pocket.
Fair enough.
In exchange for the drink, I've got one question for you though.
Oh, great. You charge that way. Fun.
Do you know a good place in the city where I could buy an outfit for a wedding?
Oh shit. You'll have to give me some time to run through the shops. I know a couple tailors in the upper city that do suits, like proper suits, like doublet and like trousers and everything. I don't know many that know how to do like Abliner style. That's the one thing I've fucking not found in the city. Anyone who can sew can... God, what I wouldn't do for a fucking Samari quilt. Sorry, that... I think I have the same problem as your elven friend there. I like to talk out of my ass a little bit. Especially when I get to thinking about shit. I'll get back to you on that.
I give him his cup.
Thank you, sir. You see him start to knock it back, and then oh, fuck, damn. Okay, that's a flavor. As he takes a minute before finishing it. Okay. Yeah.
Sweet and hot, just like my mama taught me.
I see. As he's just gonna set the glass down. Yeah. Reughar, go ahead. Let's sorry to hold you up.
Ah, no. I enjoyed this break before the tension.
That's hey folks, that's what a failed con check looks like. Yeah, is there anyone else following Reughar up to the lounge with H?
Nope. Except for my drink.
Understandable. We'll go ahead and segue there then. Ignore your regular tokens here, for the time being.
Alright, lounge is over here.
Tugar.
Whatever, Casper image. 3-gar, 4-gar, 3-gar, 2-gar, 1-gar.
Yes.
Counting with Reughar.
H is...
1-gar, 2-gar, right? Reughar, blue-gar.
It's true. As he enters,
God
as
damn it.
you enter the lounge, Hayes is gonna H.
You know what I just
Hayes.
thought in my head?
Yeah.
Yes.
The 2-gar, 3-gar, but in Stone Cold's voice. 2-gar, 3-gar, 4-gar. Okay.
Nice. Good shit.
What?
H is going to sort of step into the room. So you gonna shut the door? Or is this gonna echo across the hardwood flooring? Y'all didn't spare any fucking expense. Where'd you get that much coin?
Well, the many benefits of having the adventurous life, I assure you. As Reughar will shut the door behind him.
Alright. So you're the person. You see the instant that door closes, the more jovial nature of this man's attitude drops. So you're the one trying to organize people here in the city. It's a nice change, I'll admit. I half expected it to be some royal plant meant on trying to oust people who were, seditionists to the crown. Like I said, nice change.
Well, just attempting to do my part to, well, not just for the sake of the crown, but for the lands in general.
Yeah? Alright then. Mr. Lands in General Reughar. Mr. Speaker. I guess you get the full rundown.
Yes. In my attempts to correspond with one of my regulars, I've discovered that he apparently went missing.
Yeah. Enrique's been gone for a minute.
I was told that you were to leave another missive for your next bit of communication.
Yeah. I was supposed to sometime tonight, in Torch Market, and Vizal would make the pickup, early in the morning tomorrow. Did not expect one of the guys to come looking for things for themselves.
Desperate times calling for desperate measures and all, I assure you.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't even know. Especially if you've been... I know you've been in the city, but you've not been in the city.
You're right. I apparently don't know. But please, enlighten me.
couple months back, Enrique started trying to let me know that it was right after the news that the Assembly had was starting to mobilize troops to confront the Kingdom of the Red Diamond after the bullshit in Ecclesia. You know, with that whole city being apparently torched. I'd been running with Gado's gang for a minute or 5. Interestingly enough, he's running a protection racket on behalf of Alar Amikir. He thought I wouldn't wise up to it, but that's, you know, just... It's kind of easy to spot when there's a protection racket. I played the part of tough. We didn't really ask questions. But, yeah, he's gone too. It seems like anyone who had any sort of affiliation with a major power outside of Argonis in terms of, like, the criminal underground has gone missing. I know Enrique's not active, but he is X-Fingers. And if what I found out is to be believed, he's also ex-Black Network, too. You know, the Dumasi. Same group that we're having trouble with in the city right now.
You just see Reughar kind of give a quizzical look upon his face as he mentions the Dumasi Black Network.
Thing is, as active as the cult has been, I've run into their assets trying to look for Enrique too. I think they want him bad. I think he has something on them.
That's rather concerning if you think they're also searching for Enrique, because apparently they've also been searching for us. We've had 2 encounters with them just today alone.
Are they Oh, gods. So that's what the scuffle was. Shit. I'm assuming you were dealing with their rank and file, right? Just the cultists on the street. They're pretty easy to cut down.
Oh no! We were also accosted by Cambions as well, which we banished back to the hells.
Oh, they're really fucking after you, aren't they?
Reughar just rolls his eyes at that.
Alright. Yeah, that's about the extent of what I've got for you. The cult's after Enrique too. I don't know where he is. As much as I wish I knew where he was, I don't. He's MIA right now, and until he chooses to reveal himself, Enrique's the kind of guy that if he doesn't want to be found, he's not found. And hell, he avoided. The only reason he fucking showed his face to the fingers was because he works in close tandem with Alar just to keep a fucking pulse on the underground.
Reughar, as he's mulling over this information. Only I could figure out some means of communication with him.
I mean, I heard your buddy there, the Minotaur, mention your collegiate, right? You have magics that can reach out to him? Like, I don't know. Just spitballing here. Ascending spell?
Right! Something as simple as a setting spell. Of course, why didn't I see that earlier? Oh, the mental gymnastics I was attempting to jump through in order to make that work. Aside from that, H, you truly are brilliant.
Do not give me that. Do not put that weight on my shoulders. Do not put the weight of expectation on my shoulders to be a genius for you. I'm serious. I'm a guy out in the field. As much as I like thinking about shit, I'd much rather be doing shit about things going on, which brings me to my next point. I was never here. You never saw me. You don't even know my name. As far as you're concerned, the guy named H ditched Gado's gang and left him here with you and the Dealbreakers. Yeah?
I could agree to that alibi.
Have fun convincing Gado and Dennis. They're the kind that, I will admit, they are the kind, at least right now, that coin is a powerful motivator. Right now, they don't have a lot of income, but because Alar's not there to pull the chain with debts, they don't have a lot of expenses either. Promise of coin down the road might be, let's just say, a little more powerful of a motivator.
Duly noted.
Yeah. You have a window around here somewhere?
As Reughar kind of ponders about it a little bit. Over here, perhaps. He'll just kind of usher him out and, think off the top of his head. Right. Veron's room. Here.
Oh, shit. I don't want to... respectfully, I don't want to pry into bedrooms. The less I know, the less I can compromise about you.
Fair. So that begs the question, Jake. Where is the closest window?
The closest window that is not in a bedroom is down here. A bay window.
Over here. And he'll lead up towards the bay window.
Alrighty then. And he is going to line up. He is going to open up the window. Pleasure making y'all's acquaintance. Wish I could stay longer, but I'm out. And he just he's just gonna step up to the windowsill and just fall backwards.
As he goes to leave, great news affair with. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he is out, and you see him in a couple seconds running for the tree line.
We hear from outside.
You do in fact hear the sort of crunch of metal and God damn, I really shouldn't land like that. That fucks up my knees.
Reughgar's gonna close the window.
Krieg just quietly kind of looks over. Huh. Goes back to his drink.
Yeah.
Reughar will close the window and rejoin with everyone.
All right. So you are left with the duo that remains of Gado's gang. With H having absconded. The question arises, goons. What will you do next? And I'll give you some time to think on it, because we are going to take a brief bio break.
Let's go.
Way. I finally did it, guys. I did a thing.
You
Yay.
did it. I'm so proud of you, dude.
The first contact. And we are back. Sorry about the extended delay there, folks. Let's go ahead
It wasn't that extended.
True enough. True enough.
Sure enough.
Show enough. Yeah. We have got some things to have a look-see at. Yeah. I believe we left you guys in your guys' main dining room with Gado and it was revealed Dennis, at least to Reughar. I know for certain it was revealed to Reughar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how are we gonna get these guys to keep their fucking mouths shut?
Just give it a moment.
That's a good question, Mega Man. You should probably figure that out.
Could threaten them.
You could.
Oh, this will be hilarious if you guys figure something out before Reughar gets back. Because is this taking place while I'm gone with you?
I'd say that we've got about 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, before we hear the crunch of a man hitting the ground from the second story. You guys, we'll cut back to the rest of the party as you guys hear a door shut upstairs. Pretty firmly.
I'm sure they're going to be having a lovely conversation.
How long did you say you knew that guy? H? Kind of calling out to the other two.
He's been running with us for about a year and change.
Sips his drink.
Starting to regret not asking questions, but can't quite get away with that as much as I'd like. You see him pause and kind of swirl around the he's nursing the second whiskey a little bit. So, we saw you guys stop in with the Ranger Auxiliary. Anything from that you care to share?
Yeah, they've got people looking into whatever was going on in that house with the Helm Tours.
Good. Also, slightly unrelated note, slightly related. How do you feel about long-term guests?
Depends on how long. You'd have to be out by,
Peeks back at the letter that he received.
out by winter.
What do you think, Dennis? Dennis just kind of passively looks. He exchanges a silent stare for a moment with Gatto. A little bit incredulous that Gatto's even suggesting that. Good talk, Gatto. Good talk, Dennis. Winters. Unrelated note, have you ever by chance worked with an elven man? Of course you work with an elven man. I'm speaking more of one in the city proper. He works around a lot of places.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
I mean, like, I don't know that if you guys are a part of. I don't know. Part of me's hoping to maybe see if you guys know somebody that can provide some employment. Dennis, H, and I were out of work for about 2 or 3 months before we started. What?
Rangers have a bounty out for a necromancer that.
Oh fuck no!
That's your
I don't.
style.
Respectfully, I don't fuck with the dead.
Yeah, I figured.
Sorry, I'm slightly turning into Tusk again.
Understandable.
He can't escape me, nor can I escape him.
Oh god. Jake, can I interject with this as
I think like as the awkwardness passes a little bit, I think that it's at that point where we'll hear the crunch and why the fuck do I do that? That's so bad for my knees. The fuck was that?
I think the conversation's over.
Did he just try to off H?
Probably not. He doesn't have that kind of spine.
Yeah.
Gatto's getting up and is going to head towards someplace with a window.
I think your friend ditched you.
That little shit. He's gonna poke his head and see. Son of a bitch, Beeline is fucking into the went to the trees.
Yeah, you're not gonna catch him.
Fuck.
For what it's worth, he seems to mostly be in the business of keeping his mouth shut, so...
Oh god. Do you know how hard it is to hire 2 toughs that used to be a group of 5? It's kind of a bad fucking look. Gatto's gonna try to he's gonna down the rest of his whiskey and just look you straight in the face.
Glances at Veron, glances at Krieg.
Krieg is just sipping on his drink.
Do you?
Sir, I am a sailor by trade.
Oh, fuck me. As he's gonna kind of just look at the empty glass that's on the table. When, Reughar, that's about when you'll be able to make your entrance.
Sorry, bud.
Oh. Why the sad face?
Heartbreak.
That is not at all what this is.
Okay, good. It's not dealing with relationship statuses because I am not that great with that, in all fairness.
He's gonna incite you, Krieg. Gatto's inciting you.
Sure.
Soft 20.
Krieg's just fucking around.
God damn, I'm on edge. You
don't
see him
need
take a
nothing
second
by
and
it.
study, to study you, for a solid, second and a half before realizing. I think I need another drink.
Krieg will hold up the bottle.
Bottle of what? The malt?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say you don't have Ishmael's good shit.
No.
You
No,
don't.
no. Just whatever bottle is closest to him. Which, if Krieg has a Moscow Mule, well, presume.
Yeah.
What would be the equivalent of Moscow in this setting, just to call it that?
I'd call it a half and more mule.
A half and more horse.
That works too.
That does actually work.
A half and more horse.
I don't know. Have you and your friend there ever considered hard labor?
I tried working construction ages ago. That shit don't pay.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Wish I could
How about
offer you a spot
groundskeeping?
as a dockhand on my ship, but we're a bit full right now.
How about groundskeeping?
Wait, what?
Groundskeeping.
Not a bad idea.
What do you get? What do
Gives
you
us
get?
a reason to keep you around longer.
There's an insight going for Reughar as to why you would have suggested this. He can read the old man who's also drinking, but he cannot read the elf. That's a natural
that
one.
makes sense. Well,
There's
well, it's my understanding that you were brought upon hard times. Gato, Dennis. So, I would assume that, men such as yourselves would be looking for some work. I would have asked Bastion, but he's not around, but... Just kind of looks into the group. Well, if we hired them on as groundskeepers, part of their wages, they would tend to the grounds, and they could say... for some honest labor.
I'm amenable to it.
Looks at Veron and Ishmael.
As long as they leave my mother's garden alone.
Right. I mean, need to break that habit.
So we're basically just trying to find work for these guys right now.
You guys could theoretically just shove them out the door. It's a suggestion that's possible.
Seeing how you're in my home, I might as well be straight with you. I'm trying to find what it's gonna take to make sure that you two don't say a goddamn word about anything you've seen in here.
Well, I believe some financial compensation should help for that as well. I have that on good authority. Would that be fair to say, Gato?
That would be. Dennis? He looks to Dennis. Just looks back. Offers a single eyebrow raise to you, Reughar. Looks back to Gato.
Alright. As Reughar is going to reach into his purse and,
What's your rate? If I'm gonna be groundskeepers. Not exactly.
Veron will actually turn to them. You could probably check with our friend Fuzal. Maybe you could join her being part of their caravan group as hired hands.
What company does she run with?
It's a good question, God.
I know for a fact there was a scene between Fuzal and Veron, admittedly off screen and quite a while ago, but you should have the name. I remember mentioning it.
I sure shit don't.
I'll offer you an intelligence check then. flat intelligentsia. You don't remember the name offhand, but you do remember that it was a recent wedge into the sort of like Teamsters and Porters market here around Argonis.
I feel like I should know this, given the fact we have a caravanserai here. I shouldn't have to roll for this.
With Reughar, no.
I'd say that there's a better chance that Reughar would know. Go ahead and give me a flat intelligence.
15.
It's been a recent change. Like, it was almost immediately after you guys returned, but Fuzal let you know that she was working with a company that operates out of Ponce. Well, originally from Ponce. The Root Runners. And you guys are gonna hate me once I provide its name in the spelling list.
Is it Pauncais?
The Root Runners?
Out of Ponce?
Ponce, yes, it's...
RHUTE.
No.
Okay.
Or UTZ?
We had a
Yeah, you have...
patient at work today. His name was Dioji. Dioji. And it took me about an hour to realize later, looking back at his name, that Dioji is it is D.O.G. His name is Dog. But spell it out. D.O.G. D.O.G. Dog. I was like, that's really funny.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That name is not ringing a bell at all, as much as I try to think of it.
The Root Runner Company. Yes, it is exactly the play on words that you think it is.
Ah,
Fucking Ghost Hunter? Roto-Rooter?
No.
Okay.
It is not, unfortunately.
Oh yes, the Root Runners.
Okay. Not sure about that company in particular, but, you said, what was her name working on it?
Fuzal.
Fuzal. Can't say I'm familiar with that name. Do they drop by here, or are they... Do you know anywhere they stop in the city?
Oh, they usually tend to frequent the Dockman's Rest.
She's
Just
a
look
blue
for a
dragonborn.
bald-headed... Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, yeah. For some reason, I was like, oh, yeah. I had to do it, those things. I was like, why was I thinking she was a bald-headed elf woman? God, it's been a while.
No, that's Teadia.
That's Tiana.
Yeah, idiot.
It admittedly has been a minute since some people have encountered these characters. And Tart hasn't encountered them at all.
Correct. Smiles.
Alright.
She'll either stop by here, or you can probably find her if she's in town by the Dockman's Rest.
Wait. You said down by the Dockman's Rest. Is she at all connected to, She connected to... let's just put this daintily... Alar Amakir at all?
Reughar will just kind of lean in.
Legitimately, Veron just shrugs.
Alar. Above game, Jake. H had just said that name earlier, right?
Yes,
You're dead.
he
I'm
did.
not sure, but how are you familiar with them? Out of curiosity.
It's an old boss of mine. Ours.
Oh, not that I'm aware, I'm afraid, but
Could have squeezed some pay out of it if it was a if I could have painted it as a recommendation, especially with him gone right now.
well, Well, I don't think you need to pressure her that much. She is rather busy, though, but she certainly could use her expertise in enforcement, but probably for both of our interests, probably be better if you played fair with her.
All right. What do you say, Dennis? And in keeping, Dennis is admittedly like stroking his beardless chin. Before just giving a very subtle nod to Gato. As for silence, I don't. You guys knew H? Or is that's what you're calling him? So, as far as I'm concerned, once I wash my hands of you, I've washed my hands of him. So...
You know what? Fuck it. Insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
My terrible streak continues.
Let's go.
If it's any consolation, you actually did just beat him because he rolled a fucking 6.
Let's go.
Combination of bad rolls. They love to see it. He's not said anything about whether or not he's going to mention this place at all. That's... And the fact that he knows Alar by name is kind of doesn't sit right with you, Veron. Something just ever so slightly off about that.
All this talking is exhausting. Veron's gonna get to his feet. He's gonna dig into his fucking pouch. He's gonna... I'll give these two 30 gold each. He'll just get a couple pouches, he'll just chuck them on the table. I really don't care at this point. But if I find any connection that you compromised us in any way, it won't be the gold I'm coming after. It'll be one of your limbs. And he's gonna get up and leave.
Make an intimidation check as you do so.
17.
As you begin to walk out of the room, Veron, you notice that Dennis's eyes have gone just like absolutely a look of shock as he ponders what that implies is crossing his face at the moment.
Let's go down to that much. Okay, cool.
Your dragonborn friend there makes a something of a convincing argument.
Oh, believe me, you do not want to be on his bad side. He is rather quite penchant of removing limbs from his opponents if they so much as cross him.
Yeah. So, we'll just you see Gato grab both bags of gold. We'll just, who are you folks again? And he's gonna open the door, and he and Dennis are going to, you're going to hear some pretty rapid footsteps as they start running down the hall, back out to the front doors. Those fuckers are crazy. You hear in a voice that is distinctly not Gato's.
Dennis speaks!
What was that?
Ishmael said, "Well, Veron, I'm surprised that you were being that nice."
He's not in the room anymore.
Oh.
He actually
Well, then he
left.
just said it to no one in particular.
Yeah, with that taken care of, do you guys have anything else you need to take care of in here? Before you potentially rest or proceed with your investigations?
Well, I guess now that that's taken care of, Reughar's actually gonna look over to Ishmael. Well, now that this end has been tied up, and now less than privy eyes and ears are upon us. Or not upon us, I should say. Forgive me, Ishmael. Have you had... Above game, I'm just trying to remember, but have we tried sending to Enrique before?
Not recently.
Entertain me a thought, Ishmael. Would you be able to attempt correspondence with Enrique by means of sending?
Yeah, I could give it a shot.
Apparently our contact, H, believes that he is MIA, possibly gone underground, but he has no idea of where he's at. His whereabouts remain elusive. As well as someone else, actually. Because, believe it or not, Enrique apparently has ties to the Black Network as well.
I don't like how that's tying together. Okay. Alright, what do you want me to try and ask him?
Ask about his status, whereabouts if possible. As he just kind of ponders about it a little bit.
I got it. I've got one last third level spell slot, so here we go.
Okay. Sending to Enrique.
Yes. Assuming that he's still on this plane of existence.
That is a distinct possibility. I mean, I'm willing to make the ruling that I did for fucking. Actually, no, I'll keep sending restricted to a plane of existence. Though I did waive that rule for teleportation and, or at least out and out, that rule for. I modified that rule for teleportation, circle, and teleport.
Want to make sure you're safe. Reply if we can help at all. also dealing with Black Network.
Okay.
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay. 25 words. Time to get a reply. Get the reply.
If Enrique is as good at hiding himself as he is, I might not hold your breath on a reply. It might take something a little stronger than ascending to get through to him.
He's actually in a bad situation, and all Ishmael gets in return is just a slew of curse words.
And then,
It's like the equivalent of butt dialing. Fuck, I didn't mean to send that.
Alrighty. Just making sure I have the word count right on this. Yep, exactly 25 words. Was wondering when you'd reach out. I have an old Black Network secret. On next sending, tell if they are after Bastion 2. Gonna go ahead and slap that in the in-game chat for you all as well.
All right.
I will let you have an insight check on that message, Ishmael, since as you received the reply.
Might as well. 13.
That's more in line with more of a sort of a business side to Enrique.
That tracks.
It's also a lot less flowery of language now that he's with as serious as you know this situation to be now. It might call into question other things.
He didn't exactly tell me how he was doing or if we could do anything to help. He just said something about holding an old Black Network secret, and he wanted to know whether they were after Bastion as well.
That's... That's interesting, given the circumstances. I don't like it.
Awfully to the point, for a change. I knew there was a lot about Enrique we didn't already know, but now I'm starting to really wonder.
As am I.
Well, either way, I don't have the energy in me to cast that spell again for the rest of the night. So I've actually got to go ask Veron a favor. And I'm going to walk out and start heading upstairs, probably to try and find Veron.
As you all do, as you depart, Ishmael, all of you are going to hear a rumble of thunder from outside. As the month of Stormblaze is sending itself out in its nominal fashion. A storm has kicked up. As you're heading upstairs, Ishmael, to search for Veron, that's up to, I feel that that's up to Helix more. I'll retract my statement. If it's up to Helix, if, how easily or how difficult it is to find our dragonborn friend.
I mean, if the first place he went to look is Veron's room, he would be there.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Okay.
His door would actually be slightly cracked open.
Walk in, do the old knock-knock as I'm already coming in.
You'll see him just sitting on the bed, mask off next to him, and he's drinking from his personal gourd.
I've got something of a personal favor that I think I need to ask you, because you're the man best suited for the job.
What would that be?
My fighting style. It's not up to snuff for the enemies we've been facing anymore. And you're the best damn fighter that I know.
Well, whether or not that may or may not be the case, we've also come across enemies where fighting with traditional weapons is kind of pointless now, isn't it?
Still, when I'm in the heat of battle and I'm running low on spells, or we're running on things that are particularly resistant to them, I've got 2 weapons and I'm only ever swinging one of them at a time. Seems kind of inefficient to me.
Are you looking to use both?
Ideally, yes.
So above game, Jake, basically what I'm wanting to set up here is so we're level 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
So at level 11, if and when we get there, basically by using some setup off-screen downtime to train with Veron, swapping my slasher feat for the dual wielder feat. And then at level 12, I would probably take another feat, and that's when I would take Fighting Initiate to pick up the two-weapon fighting style. And that would be the capstone for basically finishing the training and retraining Ishmael's fighting style.
As much as I would like Veron to be that catalyst, I know Veron is proficient with those weapons. However, Veron's great weapon fighting style may not be the best match for that. If you're looking to keep resources in the party, I understand that, but this is a case where you're probably going to have to seek out someone who is trained with two-weapon fighting to do so.
All right. Then back in character, or if you don't think that you're up to teaching that sort of thing, if you at least had an idea of someone that I could try and find that could help me out.
The only thing I could teach you would be basics, and from what I could tell, you really don't need basics. You would need someone who actually specializes in it, and I tend to favor bigger weapons.
That's understandable. Either way, especially spending some time back home in Sumer, if you ever need a sparring partner to blow off some steam, Tyrians are pretty good at that.
I suppose I don't mind the change up. The new recruits at the Argonis barracks can only really provide so much.
Well, I'll leave you to this then. Might want to batten down the hatches. I point over at the window. Storm's brewing.
At which point I kind of step out and I look back over to the window where our homeboy jumped out of. That's not still open, is it?
Not to my knowledge. I believe Reughar closed it before returning downstairs.
Correct.
Cool. Then yeah, I'd probably just return downstairs.
Okay.
That was my only little bit of housekeeping I wanted to cover.
Veron watches Ishmael leave, and then he'll kind of just turn his attention to the now beginning storm outside, kind of just quietly watching.
All right. As the evening draws to a close, or at least of that particular evening, you all will gain the benefits of a long rest.
Let's go.
Yay.
As you all begin to awaken on the first day of Windreap, you find that the rain is in fact continuing. The occasional rumble of thunder hits. If you rouse yourselves collectively for a meal, you will find that, you'll find after probably about an hour, that Johann actually returns. By probably about 8 in the morning. The storm is still going strong at that point. And Johann will attempt to get everyone together.
All right.
The rain. I didn't know storms could be this. Could it come down? I didn't know the rain could come down this much. It's been.
You ever seen it go sideways?
Rain does not go sideways.
Oh, yes, it can.
I suppose that the wind's blowing hard enough.
No. Johann's gonna put a hand up to you.
No, do not speak that evil into existence.
As you see him kind of try to wring out a little bit of his hawk.
No, but at least let me speak this, as he'll use that for the verbal component to cast prestidigitation to dry off his clothes.
You're a gentleman and a scholar, Reughar. A gentleman and a scholar.
Well, I pride myself on the latter, but being the former comes natural, I suppose.
You know, I was thinking that the the trip there and back was going to be somewhat normal. I didn't dare hope.
But yes, please, why don't you find out about your journey there?
Well, I found a group of water people, like actual people from the water, attacking a caravan that was on the side of the river, which was, you know, somewhat out of the ordinary. Just gonna leave that one there. I helped chase them off, but it was actually Fuzal's caravan. I didn't realize it until I had helped them.
She all right?
Physically fine, but shaken up. She said it's the second time that caravan had been attacked on their journey through Tynes and the back road to get to Argona's capital by way of Landersvey. By creatures like that.
So were these proper elementals made of the water, or are they more like the water spirit that visited us before?
They were proper elementals.
Okay.
At least from what I could tell. I'm going to be honest with you. I know they weren't like, what was her name? Brotaya? She said her name was?
Yeah.
They weren't like her. They were more wild, if for lack of a better term.
Let me try something. And Jake, we are going to debut my first cast of Druidcraft
Okay.
to forecast the weather for the next 24 hours.
Okay, weather for the next 24 hours. You have about, I'll say this, from 8 o'clock in the morning, you have about 1 more hour of heavy rain. After that, it is going to be 8 hours of partly cloudy skies, and the winds from the north by northwest, blowing south by southeast, are going to pick up a little stronger. It's a lot of wind following this initial squall line. That's going to be... That's currently 9 hours out. If you'll apologize, I'll apologize it for a moment while I also have a look-see. Tenth hour is going to mark a return of rain, and that is going to persist for the rest of the day with a very, very cold night ahead of you tomorrow night.
But is it sideways rain?
It is not sideways rain.
Well, at least it's good to know that the elements aren't getting so out of whack that we're looking at a 24-hour superstorm. Weather's still not going to be all that pleasant over the next couple of days, though.
Well, that's all well and good, but after I stuck around after the caravan had left, I found something at the mouth of what is it? The Argonaut Wash? The encounter was pretty close to there. I found this.
And he is going to produce a probably 1.5 foot by 8-inch, like an 8-inch tall by 1.5 foot wide, rounded stone that's basically flat, just entirely covered with markings of an almost indecipherable nature. Do any of you speak any variant of Primordial?
Sure don't.
Nope.
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 Let me look at something here, because there might be something.
I mean, you have established that the 10-Yearid language is pretty close to Orin, right?
That is true. I'm going to go ahead and have, with that being the case, Veron. Go ahead and take a peek at this. What in my notes did I say this check was? Veron, go ahead and make me an intelligence check.
Because I'm great at those.
It's what we got, gamers.
Wow, better than expected.
17. You're able to recognize that this is not the parent language of the shogunate, which would have been Orin. This is a much more, I guess, flowing version that indicates to you that this is some manner of Aquan text.
There was this on the opposite side. I'm not sure about its markings either.
As Johan will flip it over. Anyone of the party, go ahead and make actually everyone in the party, go ahead and make me survival checks. Or if you are proficient, history.
Fat.
A history check.
With history. Yeah.
26.
18.
Oh, Veron, buddy. Yeah, it makes sense
Veron.
for Veron.
I don't suppose you'll let me take that survival check.
I'll let you take survival.
Okay.
It's the first one you rolled.
I suppose before that resolves, I don't know what the hell that is, but the other side looked like... I don't know the actual language, but it kind of looks like Aquan to me.
Interesting. Primordia. I'm not familiar with Primordia myself either.
I only recognize faint elements because it's what the Tenured language is based in.
A fortuitous coincidence, then.
Krieg,
Hey.
with your 17, you being the lowest scoring out of that, with your survival check, you recognize that looks a lot like a watershed. Veron, even with your natural 1 survival, you can recognize the map of a watershed. What you're not sure of is precisely where. Krieg, with your 17, and as you're sort of deciphering this, you look like that's... Seems pretty similar to a map you've seen before, but you're not sure precisely what. Ishmael with a 26. That is a map of the Argonaut Wash from source to connect to where it becomes a tributary proper of the Taipin River. And you're fairly certain it has a couple guideposts marked along its route.
It's a map. It's a guide along the Argonaut Wash, pointing to something.
What would my 18 result for that? Check it.
About the same, but with the distance, with what you know of Argonas's geography, this might be one of the first few complete maps of the Argonaut Wash that people have. Because according to most people around here, the Argonaut Wash starts in an unknown portion of the Argonaut Reserve, the forest that divides the Heartland and Coluno County.
Rather curious, yes, but
Not surprising that a resident sailor knows how to read a map.
well, that's interesting, true. But look up here. That's the Argonaut Reserve. I don't think I've ever seen a map that actually was able to label that out completely. Well,
Holy shit, you're right.
well, leave it to naiads or beings of water to know where it derives from precisely.
I mean, yeah, they probably live there.
That would be quite the astute observation.
I need to check something on Bastion's sheet real quick. As you see the lazy cat man. I shouldn't call him a lazy cat man. As you
The
see
lazy
Bastion
man.
arrive with
Okay.
half of a turkey leg in his mouth. What? What's going on? Oh, Johan, you're back. Good.
How you feeling, champ?
Like shit.
Yeah, I figured.
You never told me that your mom works people to the bone, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy, howdy. Oh, what's this? What's with the weird rock?
Map. Tributaries of the Argonaut Wash. Potentially all the way to where the wash originates. Which is very interesting.
Veron will look to Jan. So did the caravan return back to town then?
Yes.
Or at least the group.
They were actually delivering a shipment of. They were delivering a shipment. Apparently, heard this from Fuzal. Apparently, it's supposed to be kept on the down low, but I'm fairly certain she wouldn't mind you all knowing. Apparently, Argonis has had to begin importing iron from out of country. There's been a lot of. Apparently, Iron Run down in the south is having some issues.
I'm sure
Anyway.
Raykolf has his hands busy with what the assembly's got going.
Any idea where from?
Well, if the route runners are involved, my guess is from Ponce. There is a wayward spur of the Verge that's juts out just about towards the capital city of that little republic.
Oh, you know what? That actually reminds me. Yeah, we're all probably gonna have to get, clothes for a wedding in the winter.
Wait, what? A wedding?
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, do you all remember... I'm pulling it back up for my own sake. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, do you all remember Lady Vanessa de Kylan?
The Kylan. Why does that sound familiar, Jake?
That was the Rhodamian noble that Silvershield was accompanying whenever we first met him here in the capital. They're going to be coming back because Lady de Kylan has accepted the courtship of Prince Antoine Castir.
Oh.
I will offer each and every one of you a history check as to a couple of those things. If you've been in Argonis for any amount of time. History from Reughar. All right.
Really? Prince Castor himself. I was not aware that he was in courtship.
Yeah, I'm not surprised really.
2. Okay.
25.
You try to remember the name Krieg from likely your experiences. Your experiences in the ruined time. Prince Antheon, respectfully, the pronunciation's a little weird. It's not.
I see.
It's Antheon, Antheon Castir. Has, like, around this point in time, yeah, that kind of stuff was announced. But Reughar, this is something you'd know a little better from around now. More relates better to the scene, to the scenario that you've already lived through. Rather, Prince Antheon doesn't appear to the public that often. It's just kind of weird considering how there's a lot of like courtship events that are, you know, the common fare of high society. Prince Antheon's name has never come up to your knowledge.
In my experience, he's been rather reclusive, so not surprising that somebody would be able to court him.
And
Or her.
why are we getting invited and why do we care?
Because our esteemed friend Prince Artino Delargent, Lord Tribune of County Westreach, Hammer of King Jarrett and Queen Alesia Hyron, Lord Marshal of the Army of Concordant Steel, is accompanying them and is requesting our hospitality. Which I'm sure also means that we're going to be being dragged into any
Wait.
sort of ceremonies that are going on.
Hospitality.
Yeah,
What
he
degree
wants
of
to crash.
hospitality are they talking about?
Well, Arton wants to stay here rather than being stuck in some musty bunk somewhere within the capital. Also, he wants to harangue us about trying to lead the Assembly's armies again.
You just see Rughar's face just go from concerned to full on Anel from One Piece. Just, huh?
Oh, what? Did he not go to you about that?
This is obviously news to me. But, I mean, I'm honored that he would consider us, but us as hosts for royalty? This is absurd. I mean, oh.
Again, I'll say, Arton wants to stay here. I'm sure that her ladyship will have some form of amenities within the castle itself. You
Quite
did
still
know
sad
that
for-
you did know that Arton was a prince, right?
Well, yes, but just the degree of him being able to be socially active was the one thing that escaped from me the most.
Well, he doesn't much enjoy it. He and I kind of bonded over that, it seems. Being forced into public life.
I think Veron just had like disassociated because he was having PTSD of hosting a noble event.
Huh. I wonder why. Almost like I planned some
God.
of these things.
Between this guy and Lady Vesemir, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I'm being pulled too many different ways by too many different people. Especially because neither of them seem to want to take no for an answer. So yeah, we have that to look forward to in the middle of Chill Creep. So mark your calendars for this winter.
Okay, so above board here. In terms of to-do list, potential to-do list, we've got Rughar's air quote trial.
In a month. Ish.
And now we've got. We still got dealing with what's happening with Enrique. As that's kind of the most immediate forefront, it seems.
We have the Naiad exploring the Argonaut Reserve for the
Which
source
is
of the
also
corruption.
kind of right now.
A lot of issues with the river.
And then now this with being, what, a couple months, you said?
Well, we're coming up into meteorological fall, so we've got a full season to get into that.
And you do, I will say this, you do have time to refuse him. That is,
This is also true.
that is in fact an option.
Also in his PS, he is bringing a few bottles of a very fine vintage Star Sung wine from a distillery that I've actually always wanted to visit. I've read some stories about a man from Gévaudan, which also reminds me that I have something that I need to get into Arten's hands. Huh. So even if you guys don't want to let him stay here, I'm at least going to be meeting him because, we have a lot to talk about.
If it's just him, that I can tolerate.
Yeah, by everything, I'll just read verbatim the whole thing for you guys. Date, addressed to me. It's been nigh on 2.5 months since our most recent correspondence. I assure you that the Assembly's core membership agree that your rest and respite are well earned, though I may have ill news to deliver later. I am pleased to announce that after much deliberation, Lady Vanessa de Kylan has accepted Prince Antheone Castier's courtship proposal and will be returning to visit Argona's capital in wintertime per King Ilbert's request. Given my position as executor of the de Kylan estate and Countess's chaperone, I will be traveling through Ridius and Corbe to Argonas once more alongside her. Unto that, and the following my arrival, I will be available as an advisor and informant on goings-on from south of the Lafret Mountains and within the verge to both King Castier and the Dealbreakers, should any of you reconsider the Assembly's offer to spearhead the armies of Concordant. We expect to arrive sometime in the midst of Chill Creep. I hear there is a charming little vineyard outside of the capital that has very hospitable hosts whose grace and generosity towards their guests is unparalleled. Yes, I understand that I invented most of that last sentence, but I look forward to yours and the Dealbreakers' ideals of hospitality all the same. In years and months past, I've bunked in saggy mattresses and with musty hay piles in dingy backwater Corbean and Iridian inns before, Lord. You cannot do worse than that, I pray. P.S. I'm bringing a few bottles as a gift, 295 steel vintage Starsong wine from Duvant en l'Esprit de la Bête from the old Gévaudan distillery in Amafort. There will be a path before us, and you are not ready. Amicably, Prince Arten's full title.
No, we are not ready indeed. We're gonna just kind of let that aside.
As to what is going on with the Enrique situation, my head snaps to Bastion. They are looking for your ass.
When we say they, we're thinking about the same they, right?
Yeah, the they that really wants whatever that fucking sword is.
Yes, the noir-colored ones.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably do.
They said Cambions after our asses trying to get to you.
They what? The what?
Twice.
What? They sent what?
Half-devils, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
So I want you to think real fucking hard and try to remember as much as you can about the time you got that sword. Because I know you said you blacked out for a while, and I know what kind of mage you are. So that sword is fucking important to these ambitious motherfuckers. So we have to figure out what kind of deal you struck.
Okay.
To which end, I also tried ascending to Enrique yesterday evening, and he wanted to know whether or not they were after you as well. Because he apparently has an old secret of theirs.
Wait. He asked you if they were after me.
Yeah.
After that letter that came in a few days ago?
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure that I got through to Enrique.
I mean, your magic works correctly, right? We're not in the Grantlands. It's not gonna fuck up your magic, is it?
Nope. So the only thing I could think is if they're after Enrique and we're dealing with devils, if they got to him and they possessed him or something. To which end, if we want to try contacting Enrique again, someone's going to have to buy me a spell scroll.
Yeah, that tracks.
Because I've got an idea of what I could try and use to get through to him, but it ain't going to be easy. And I didn't learn that spell.
What's the spell in question?
Dream. If I can't get to Enrique whenever he's conscious, maybe I can get to him whenever he's unconscious. Or failing that, and at this point I point at Bastion, or I could use it to get inside your head, and we could do some digging in there. But if we go down that route, I can't promise you're going to like what we might be able to find. So yeah, getting my hands on a dream scroll is what's going to be on my agenda if we're going back into town and not following this map to the source of the Argonid Wash to see what's up with the elements.
Veron actually turns to Krieg. Isn't that thing in your chest that have a particular dislike of fiends? Can it do anything, you think?
I just realized I was muted. I've been trying to contribute to the conversation.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Probably it hasn't been that long. Probably like 10 minutes
Hmm.
at most.
Oh god.
Krieg would look to and say,
Sure doesn't. I could probably come up with some idea to assist with this situation.
I mean,
Because the way I'm looking at things right now, this situation with the Black Network is gonna keep unfolding with or without us.
So, above game, the thing I was getting at, if maybe, like, as another option, maybe try having either Bastion with or without the sword, or just have Bastion try to interact with it or something.
Yeah,
Would be
we could.
it would be an interesting route.
yeah, try that.
Anyway, Bastion, you had a thought?
I'm of the persuasion. I mean, you said dream was an option. I've done a little bit of digging myself, and I don't know that I can get my hands on one legally. But if you wanted to send to my brother, he might be able to get you something. Cause
Hold that thought. Ishmael,
Uh-huh.
can you spare another message?
I mean, I haven't done any yet today, so sure.
You want to check and see what the wizard friend of ours is doing?
Which one? The one here in the castle?
Our masked friend, yes.
Oh, him. Yeah, I might as well. I know he said that he was doing some of his own research. He's not floating around here somewhere.
Could at least check in and see how long his business is going to take.
Yeah, I might as well.
Level 3 spell slot go to KV, I suppose.
Just checking in. Perhaps a status report. At least let us know how long you expect to take.
Yeah, that does the trick.
You want to handle the response check?
And after sending that, I'm also going to say, now, by no means am I just going to be a messenger boy, knowing the fact that we could be jumped by devils at any given moment. Which also reminds me, I'm going to have to go downstairs to retrieve Teosphere.
While we're in the conversation, let me test the theory. And I will hold up. I guess as I approach Bastion, does the Astral Core have any sort of initial reaction to him?
To
Or
him,
perhaps his sword?
to
smile?
him as a person, no. To his sword, there is a sense of dis-ease, but not hatred. It recognized that the Astral Core recognizes that it is a quote-unquote magical weapon. But the fact that it is not reacting as fiercely to Bastion's weapon as it reacted to the Cambions, that's not really a great avenue on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk a different avenue, but Veron's not the one who knows this shit. It's KV.
Which gets me to my next point, which I can provide above board. We encountered the results last session of some of KV's work. Helix.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, this would have been another... I think at this point in the day, we are right now concurrent, or shortly after, the scene with a certain drow, along with Vevra and Numerius in Rhodium.
Okay.
We are at the end of that scene. It has been 2 or 3 days since his departure. 2 days since his departure.
So then he would be en route to...
Potentially en route to Isium.
Right.
It's up to KV whether or not whether at the party's request he wants to come back and help. I leave that decision in your hands.
For brevity's sake, he will, because he got this message, he quickly consults with both Vevra and Numerus what if his assistance would be preferable, or if this is something they can handle.
I'm gonna leave that decision with you goons in the party. Bastion is sort of sort of persona non grata in these decisions.
I met Jake as, could you quickly just let me know if Vevra or Numerius would like to have KV with them while they go, or no? Or if they can manage. Just as a quick...
I think, personally, that Vevra and Numerius would rather wait to have KV alongside, and considering things that were discussed, they would technically view that as the best use, assisting the main group as the best use of KV's time to fulfill the request of the Osterarch. It's a question of, will their orders they don't feel would override the authority of the Osterarch? Or their preference wouldn't override the authority of the Osterarch. They can wait.
Well, he got what he originally wanted to get, so... Okay. Well, and he also... Yeah, he got Vevra in the loop, so... KV will respond. I will be returning within the day. I won't be able to get there immediately, but soon. Because he can only travel to set locations right now.
At which point, I guess I'll relay to everyone. Well, I think he's going to be on his way back soon. When exactly? I don't know what to do with that guy.
There is a possibility that I remember, I don't remember if you were here for that, John, but there was his legend lore about Krieg's armor, and, well, the core of Krieg's armor.
Yeah?
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Krieg, but didn't you also mention that core allows you to potentially commune with a god?
You know, it's funny. It's funny he says that, because I was honestly just thinking that.
I mean, we're talking about looking into the origin of a weapon. If
No, you're right. Truthfully, I've been sitting here thinking of questions to ask.
Above board, if you guys want to take the time for that.
Yeah, I am amenable to that, because then I can ask the party to help me come up with questions.
All right, so now we're going to break a little bit from character. Above board, with all of the knowledge you have right now, questions that you want Krieg to ask within the confines of a commune spell.
As I slowly reach over and grab my astral prism.
Yes.
So for those who don't remember, commune, I can ask a deity or divine proxy up to 3 questions that can be answered with yes or no. I receive a correct answer for each, but the answers can be unclear if a question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge. The DM in question can also offer a short phrase in place of a one-word answer.
Mm-hmm.
If the one-word answer is not, would be considered misleading or contrary.
Yeah.
You also have a minute to ask them.
I do.
I'm going to say this. It's going to be a minute within real space. I'm not gonna run the clock on that.
I appreciate that, friend.
I'm not gonna run the clock on that. You are burning a resource that you have already.
So, friends.
3 yes or no questions
Yes.
pertaining to this sword.
Yes. And I need to double check. Because I believe it only lets me do it the 1 time a day.
Well, first I have a question that I
Yes.
could just ask Bastian, so I'm going to.
Okay.
I will ask Bastian whether he knows if the sword is bound to him in any way.
Considering the research he has done into what he is, what his magic, the source of his magics are, yes. The sword is bound to him now.
Okay, that's good to know.
Which god is he communing with, by the way? Is it the big one?
It is the big one. It is, in fact,
It's-
Teokos.
Or one of his proxies.
Or one of his proxies. Well, no, it says, hold on.
With Teokos, the god of the forge, yes. Specifically with Teokos.
Yes.
Because this is the soul of one of the... This is basically the emergency line of, oh, shit, I haven't seen this number in ages, what the fuck?
Well,
Assuming he's awake!
That's a good point.
automatically
Maybe,
contacts the Ædosian
Hey,
Forge domain deity Teokos.
Hey, Gaia!
Yeah.
How would you feel about letting or getting Ishmael to let Krieg hold Teosphere while he does this?
No.
Understandable, have a day.
Not just no, Bugs Bunny image macro. No.
Excellent.
Understandable, have a day. I wasn't gonna.
I honestly, I think that interaction would be crazy. However,
Yeah, I heard your reaction, and that only reinforced no.
That's literally me theorizing, wanting to poke things to see what happens.
So one of my questions above game is, was a deal made to acquire this sword? And depending on the answer to that, was this sword obtained from someone who was killed?
Okay.
I do like the idea of asking whether or not the sword was part of a pact.
Yeah. I feel like that's the basic, like, that's a question we have to ask.
Because, like, above game, obviously we're working with some player knowledge here. He's a Blade Pact Warlock. Blade Pact Warlocks aren't necessarily locked down to one weapon.
Yeah.
But this one's obviously pretty important, so that could have been part of the deal.
Agreed.
Yes.
So I definitely do like that being at least question 1 or 2.
Great. I will write it down.
I would say something maybe along the lines of if Bastion's either personal well-being or, dare I say, his soul is in danger if he disobeys his weapon.
I'm sorry, Helix, will you repeat that one more time? I was typing
Is it
and I
ba-
thought I was listening.
Basically, just along the lines of if, like, Bastion either maybe knowingly or unconsciously, like, doesn't obey the whims of the weapon, like, if his well-being is in danger, be it physically or even possibly his soul.
Here's maybe a prerequisite question to that. Does the weapon have an ego? Is it sentient?
Is it sentient?
It's more,
weapon?
the reason I asked that question is more along the lines of maybe not so much the weapon itself, but who the patron is tied to.
Valid. Then maybe a better question would be, can he be compelled by the weapon? By or through?
The reason I went to that question, because obviously we want to make sure that Bastion is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need him getting sent to hell right now.
I do want
Yeah,
to
no.
also throw in the optional question of if the weapon was not obtained by a pack, was the weapon obtained by Bastion killing someone or something?
Yeah, I think that's definitely fine.
You got anything, Mel?
Man, I've just been kind of thinking if some questions with the weapon. Knowing what we know about the weapon, the fact that Camions are chasing after it, we don't need to really ask if this is a diabolical weapon in nature.
I guess the other thing we can keep in mind is that this is not like the one and only time. We can, like,
I
keep
can't do
doing
this again tomorrow. I would just...
Yeah, it's once a
Yeah.
day.
But yeah, I got nothing really else to contribute for this, so
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Maybe we should try asking some should questions.
Like?
Should we dispose of the weapon?
I like
Assuming
that.
it could be.
I actually genuinely, like, really like that question. I feel like we might get an obvious answer, but I feel like that's still a question to ask.
I mean, wouldn't I'm assuming... I'm assuming a, overall lawful good deity is going to say, yes, destroy evil weapon.
I have a better question.
Okay.
Would destroying the weapon place Bastion in immediate harm?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a better version of that question.
true. Destroying the weapon and or freeing the pact from him
Actually, maybe that's a better question. Would destroying the weapon break Bastion's pack? Probably yes, but
Would it cause harm to him? We need somebody who's a lawyer. Where's Jay Frost?
I was just thinking that.
Jay Frost is an actual lawyer? Oh, shit.
He knows legalese, at least.
Or legalese, anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm satisfied with what we have at the moment.
So confirming the questions you guys have. Just
Yes, I
go ahead and read them back.
Because
the
my
three
thing
you
is
chose.
that if we're not satisfied, we can always just do this again later.
Yeah.
But so the three questions. First one, was the sword in Bastion's possession acquired via the means of a pact or deal?
Okay. Second question.
Well, I would like to know the answer to the first one because the answer to that will affect the second question.
Okay. So if you have those, if you have enough to go on to at least start, we'll resume character.
I have all my questions written.
Okay, we'll resume character then. As you begin to focus your energies on the astral core. It's been a minute since you've done this, and you didn't realize that you did it at first. At least precisely in its form, as you know how it can now. As you focus on it, the rest of you see it begin to sort of float and hover in front of Krieg, eventually homing to the point where the celestial rune for messenger aligns with the center of Krieg's forehead. And as the orange light grows and glows upon the actual astral core itself, from that rune, you see the same rune projected onto Krieg's forehead. And you see his eyes go blank. Entirely blank. Like, not even the irises. You see the irises and the pupils disappear. Before the orange light from the astral core picks up. As Krieg, you are brought to somewhere else. No, that is not it.
Whee!
Silks. Draped from columns of orange, of amber, of gold. Polished, burnished iron tiles before you. Braziers beyond the columns on either side. An orange-tinted night sky is what you see above you. And you see before you in the distance, at once 5 feet in front of you, 50 feet ahead of you, 100 feet, each one growing in stature, seeming to be at various moments in your perception. You stand before what to most is a silent throne, with questions in hand and in mind. You feel the braziers begin to intensify in their heat. There is a sense of immediacy as you have communed with Teokos. You ask your first question.
The sword in Bastion's possession, was it acquired via the means of a pact or deal?
And that's not a, was it one or the other? It's, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes. You mean them in terms of synonymous.
Yes.
You hear something a little different from the first time you thought you heard Teokos. You hear the voice from before, but there are others now. A second, a third, a fourth, a fifth voice in chorus with the first. In. The word drags on for a moment. Sense. Echoed again 4 times.
Insane.
In a sense.
In a sense. Okay. I'm going to look past my optional question for now, I believe.
Can Bastion be compelled by the weapon or through the weapon?
Not easily. The 5 disparate voices come together for the last word. As you feel the intensity of the forge fires of these braziers, you begin to hear hammers start ringing out. As you hear creaking metal in front of you. And a set of orange eyes looks at you directly.
The sound oddly puts Krieg at ease.
And he would proceed. Destroying the weapon. Would destroying the weapon place Bastion in immediate harm?
This is an instance where a yes or no answer is going to be misleading. I'm going to tell you that above board.
Okay. You can substitute a short phrase or as an answer instead, according to the spell.
Okay. Technically 6 words over, but this is the fucking creator god. Fuck it. To destroy it. Danger is inevitable. And as the last of those words is uttered, the combined chorus of Teokos' voice breaks you from the trance, and you sit again in the midst of this dining hall.
Krieg sort of snaps to attention, kind of in his seat, almost like coming out of like a long sleep.
Well, that was certainly interesting.
And then he would go back over the answers of the questions asked. So the answers are, for the first one, was the sword in Bastion's possession acquired via the means of a pact or deal? In a sense. Can Bastion be compelled by the weapon or through the weapon? Not easily. And then would destroying the weapon place Bastion in immediate harm? To destroy it, danger is inevitable.
Well, that last one was kind of a given, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As for the second, though, that at least gives me hope that he can't be forcibly taken over through the sword, and it's more like it's a piece of leverage to use against him.
I share the same thinking as you then.
Ishmael looks visibly annoyed.
Care to share your thoughts?
No. I don't think you would really want to hear them.
Just straight up, the fucking withers no.
Fair enough.
So, the question is, I think that actually told me a little bit of something. Considering that I've had this for a minute, I have tried destroying this before. Tried breaking it, tried, all of the, your bog standard things, melt it down. It ends up coming back. I think it's going to take something bigger than just, trying to break it with a fucking hammer or with a hammer.
Now you think long and hard about what you're saying.
He literally just talked with him. You have the instrument that he supposedly created. Capital H he. That he supposedly used.
He also said that destroying the weapon, danger is inevitable. So I suggest you follow Ishmael's advice.
My point is that I don't have what capital H he had. The hammer is not complete. I cannot guarantee that it would be able to do anything, or that what it would do wouldn't make things worse. That tool is not a solve-all for all of our problems. Especially not in its current state. Just because it lets me do this, and I cause a tiny sprout to come up from the wood with a casting of druid craft, just like in the middle of the table, doesn't mean it gives me the power to destroy a fiendish artifact.
As much as I wish to help with the Bastion on this endeavor, I'm afraid I am inclined to agree with Ishmael on it.
So,
I could try, but you have to be willing to accept the consequences, whatever they may be.
We should probably wait until we know more information.
I agree with Veron. Acting hastily is nothing but a poor idea when it concerns the life of a friend.
I agree.
I remember the first form I had the weapon in. When I said I'd been doing some thinking and some research, that's what I meant. When I came back to, my sister was gone. In one of the back alleys in the lower city. And it was in the form of a falchion. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but most of the soldiers and the people around here are more fans of, I guess, a descendant of the Xiphon, the old Korabean swords. The ancient Korabean swords. I'm fairly certain that the man that was dead at my feet, the men, weren't from Argonis. Which, with what I've learned about the Black Network, he kind of spares a bit of a glance towards Johann. Lines up with some stuff that we've already encountered. That's right to a degree. The last time I remember seeing members of the Black Network in this region, when I used to freelance, as it were, back with my mentor, it was around Dalnakia, where I was arrested and put in prison for a bit of time. And I remember the blades of their city guards very well. Based on Bastion's description, I wouldn't be surprised if the thing wasn't forged right here in the Materium. Or rather, not in the Hells.
That is a thought then, isn't it?
If there's anyone who knows how to destroy this weapon permanently, maybe it's the people who created it.
Just
I'm
one more
unfortunately
destination on the plate.
I'm unfortunately disbarred from returning to that city in most fashions. Unless I want to revisit my prison sentence again. So if you head that way,
I unfortunately will not be able to follow. Not without putting you and our objective in more danger.
I wouldn't ask you to do that. Not to yourself.
Did you have any weapons from any, Did you encounter any weapons from the cultists when you were in the city?
I'm trying to remember.
Krieg has one of... Well, no, he took one of the Cambia weapons, didn't he?
Yes.
Not the cultist weapon? Yeah.
Yeah, that's just that's someone directly from the hills, so I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna be helpful.
Could I roll an intelligence check to see if I remember what the guys were wielding yesterday?
Yeah. The rank and
Seems like
file, at
please.
least. The rank and file, at least. Yeah. Go ahead and roll intelligence. It's fairly recent memory, so
15.
yeah. The rank and file, the I guess human members.
Especially because I was right up next to the one who I
Yeah.
dissonant whispered.
Yeah. Specifically Dalnakian style Falchians.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a pretty good look at that one guy before I turned the inside of his head into mush, and he definitely had Falchians that I think I've seen whenever I'd made port in a few cities up that way. So I guess we know the source of that issue.
We know the first thing about our enemy now. If they're coming from there, how are they able to... doesn't make sense. Dalnakia's hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
It's usually a little beyond the reach of, a devil cult. By normal
Not the
means,
devil-
anyway.
Not when the devils themselves can apparently teleport.
Veron.
Hmm?
I would like you to make an intelligence check with advantage. Because of an experience you have had recently.
$13.
How did Veron travel to where he did?
He was picked up.
Yes, and how did you travel? How did he travel? By what sort of, path did he walk?
That would be lay paths. It could be the possibility they have access to lay paths.
Holy shit, those are real?
Yes. But from what I understand, they're difficult to navigate. Unless you have a means to move about them. Maybe fiends have a better sense or have ways to navigate them, I don't know.
I was wondering whether they might somehow be able to use hell as some sort of highway.
From what I remember from my time out east, is that typically beings of other planes usually have to find places of weakness between the planes, or have somebody acting as a medium to
Yeah, that makes sense.
get pulled to this side.
Well, if none of you know, if anyone in this estate would know anything about ley paths, honest to God, it might be my mom.
Well, Reughar just kind of pines about that for a little bit. Well, otherwise, my only experience was using them when I left patronage. But as he just kind of looks over the Krieg, you would possibly would have had to know that too, wouldn't you?
Krieg nods.
I'm rolling something behind board because if you're going to bring Barry into the scene, I want to determine if she knows this ahead of time.
Very well.
Okay.
I mean, after the patronage guys saying that, I feel far less compelled. So I guess just keep that down for future knowledge.
That is definitely going down for future knowledge.
Either way, or before Ishmael looked really annoyed, now the, emotion that's kind of playing on his face is, his whole fucking world just got opened up.
Copper for your thoughts, Ishmael.
I'm just really
I'm not-
wondering whether the Tyrian gods exist separate from the Teokosian ones.
You'll have to, excuse me, I'm not exactly familiar with the Tyrian gods.
Yeah, they're separate from the Teokosian ones. It's the ones that the people of Tyrnheim revere themselves out in the Confederacy. And the stories about them, they're insane. Everything that I've heard about the Teokosian gods since, coming down through everything, they're so detached, but the Tyrian gods were more like men than men were sometimes. They were so human and prone to outburst and emotion and meddlesome that, especially after, seeing how religions worked out here, it started making me really wonder whether they were just stories, meant to scare kids into following their parents. But gods, I mean, if the Teokosian gods are real, then what about the Tyrian ones? Because a lot of those stories about the Tyrian gods, we also have stories of roots that connect everything. That were really similar to what you guys called the ley lines.
Roots. I'm unfortunately at a loss for I've had no experience with such, I guess, means of travel.
Nope, I'm not saying shit.
I know. I know he's not.
there is the question of how would one even gain access to these places?
Well, at least in the Tyrion stories, there weren't exactly a lot of stories of normal men using them. So, if they're the same or similar to these ley lines, then they're probably in really particular places and probably require some thing to open them. Like really specific knowledge. Knowledge that a Fey creature might be able to give us as a reward if we helped figure out what was going on with the Argonaut Wash, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Because, I mean, let's face it, like, if anyone's gonna know about these weird, you know, like, pathways that connect the land, why wouldn't it be the spirits of the land? They've got to know something, right? Like, I'm grasping for anything here.
No, that's a good point.
Well, I could see the wisdom in that.
Oh, and, you guys mind if I do something real quick?
Sure?
Because if you're talking about the Argonaut Wash and this is here, Bastion's gonna flip the stone over. And you're gonna see his eyes sort of begin to glow a ghostly blue. Oh my god. Hey, what was the name of that, Brataya, right?
Yeah, that was her.
I don't know how Fae work, but, I think this reads like an invitation.
I know a little bit about how Fae work. Can you give me something a little more specific?
I'll give it to you verbatim. I hope you have found this message well, Dealbreakers. I regret to inform you I have been summoned to an audience upriver. An old friend of mine has come to call at my home, and I would have been a terrible host to have left them waiting for long. The map on the reverse of this stone should serve as a guide to get you to my home with little trouble.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's an invitation.
Reughar
Which
snaps
means if we follow the map, we shouldn't have too much problem.
Reughar just stabs his fingers. That's next on my list. I was supposed to figure out what that was.
Sounds like we know where we're going next.
I'll say.
Indubitably so.
You know, as cursed as this fucking sword is, it does let some fun stuff happen. Even if it doesn't realize it's helping in its own destruction. There's a kind of hesitant smile on Bastion's face.
I think the path is set then. We head up the Argonaut Wash. I think
Yeah.
this, respectfully, if we are going to an audience with the Fae, I fear that I may be a liability. I am rather poor with my controlling impulses from time to time. And I would not want that to be used against you.
Yeah.
I will... Reughar, who did you reach in the city to learn of one of the people that was here yesterday?
Sorry, that's not Johan that should be asking that. That's Bastian who should be asking that. Because he observed the departure of those two men.
Oh, our mutual contact, H.
Yeah, but where did you learn about them from? Because we can send Bastian if he's not confident going with you. We can have him act as an intermediary with whoever can be an intermediary to H.
Oh, with Tealia.
Teadia, I know, and the rest I know. I think I can... Also, a lot of this talk is making me just want to drink. Not going to lie.
I'm gonna need to stay sober at least until we get within the domain of the Fae.
Well, it's
Which,
not
rule
early.
1, do not eat or drink anything that they offer you.
Well, as far as anything to drink, I'm really getting the ache for some Astral Stag coffee.
You say the word astral, and Ishmael goes, huh? And then you say coffee, and he goes, okay. Flashbacks to the Nyx Fleece Ram. That
Not to mention the taxidermied holy creatures in the fucking Rosadas estate.
Oh, yeah, no. Ooh, that reminds me of another conversation that Ishmael meant to have.
Oh yeah.
Assuming he could even reach the boy. And that the boy wouldn't just go, no, leave me alone, stay away forever.
All right. Well, with that, all of that information at hand and a plan in the works to pursue the lead of lay paths? ? I think that's a good enough place as any for us to break from tonight's session.